Hello and welcome to Hot Indonesia, the only English talk show in the world's fourth biggest country. I'm Dalton Tananaka in Jakarta, and here is this week's H-I Hotlist, again focusing on the coronavirus crisis. Capital lockdown. It's guidance at the moment, but everyone's preparing for a Jakarta law to keep us at home. Hard numbers measuring the economic impact of businesses big and small. And taco trend, the latest U.S. fast food chain supposed to open this month. Are we ready for Burrito Supremes and Nacho fries? Now, this week's program is being done by video conference to keep our government-requested distance. And here are my co-hosts each and every week. From her home in Bintaro is Sandrina Malakiano, former TV news anchor, now a political marketing consultant. And from his home in Senopati is Sandiaga Uno, business leader and former vice governor of Jakarta. Okay, hot topic number one. Capital lockdown. The signals are mixed. Jakarta's governor seems ready to order an official lockdown of the city of 10 million people, but President Joko Widodo has been firm against that strict position, saying we can follow South Korea's model of voluntary compliance. This as the number of infections and deaths keeps going up every day. Now, Anies Baswedan, as both of you know, extended the capital's emergency status another 2 weeks to April 19th. Stay at home. Schools closed. Recreational businesses closed. Sandrina, he can't do much more.
I do agree, and in such a situation, you know what we're dealing with in Indonesia, because geographically we're situated, we're an archipelago. We have a very distinct type of country, and it's different from one country to another. And I think Tuesday, the president has reiterated that he is against lockdown, and there has to be a coordination, a firm system from above to control such a country. Well, we noticed that recently there has been a growing tension between the central government and the regional heads, say from the provincial level or even from city and regencies. They're making their own laws. For Indonesia, that could be a source of problem, but I am trying to understand why heads of provinces or the regions and mayors are making their own decisions, because they have been waiting for a direct and firm instruction from above, from the central government.
You know, President Jokowi again emphasized that the power of any lockdown rests with him and not local government, as you said, Sandrina. Sandy, it's understandable that the president doesn't want to completely kill the economy, but shouldn't public health be the priority?
I've been advocating a partial lockdown, or what we call regional quarantine, because high-intensity interventions from government, be it local and central government, can reduce significantly up to more than 50,000 of daily addition rates. We can impose a stricter social control, social distancing. We could do the regional quarantine, especially I am in south part of Jakarta, which is the epicentrum of where the number of cases of COVID-19 exists. So yesterday, I think the debate is over. The president has decided that he is calling for a state of public health emergency, whereby he also signed basically a decree in lieu of laws in relations to how he wanna actually deals with the impact not only on health but also on social and economy. I think we need to tone down now the debate and make sure that those packages are being adhered to, in particular in relations to the health situations. Now that the president chose these options, more initiative can be done, and it's rests with the people. It's rests with the communities to make sure that we adhere to the stricter social distancing and self-isolations. I think the number of cases, we need to bring it down significantly, and I think the numbers will speak for itself. I guess what Pak Jokowi doesn't want to happen is what we are seeing on TV with India, whereby the results so far, we've seen pictures of police brutality and divisions between the haves and the have-nots, the rich and the poor, the social divisions. So I think we just need to see whether the decisions is going to hold and reduce the number of addition rate. And we just have to go day by day. And I think more and more transparent informations will be needed in order for the people to comply with the new strategies being given by the government.
Well, Sandy, let me ask you: is it just a matter of terminology? I mean, it sounds like it's a lockdown by any other name, but he's not calling it a lockdown. Is that fair to say?
It is exactly it. We have to go on a region by region. The president has very much pretty much the I guess the interpretations to the people. So the people in South Jakarta, for instance, have to take these measures very seriously, because you don't want to make sure people who are working here in south part of Jakarta will go to take to their annual leave after the next Ramadan season is over.
Sanjina, let me address what Sandy touched on, mudik. As we know, the return home, as Sandy mentioned, the return home of Indonesians to their hometowns ahead of the start of the holy month of Ramadan. Now, it's already started for some because many have lost jobs. They have no income. They might as well go to their hometowns. The president and regional leaders are urging all people to stay put and not travel. Now, that's going to be impossible to enforce unless there's economic incentives to do so, right, Sanjina?
Yeah, I agree, Dalton, because what the government needs to focus also after issuing this decree or this new regulations following the implementation of this new status of a health emergency, the people's health emergency situation, is that how does the government plan to control and implement all these measures, because it's going to be really hard to try to control the people. It all goes back to the people themselves. Will they agree? Will they abide to the rules? Because now we're seeing that people are already going back to their hometowns, as you mentioned. And if there is no strict sanctions implemented to those who do not abide, then it's not going to work. I do believe that there should also be sanctions implemented. I know that the government is trying to take the safest route, the most logical route to try to control the situation, preventing chaos, preventing further tragedies hitting the people now who have lost their jobs. Because we know in Indonesia, those who live under the poverty line, the number is huge. People who live on a day-to-day basis, just based on their daily incomes, they have nothing to eat if they don't work. So how does the president or the central government tend to deal with such a situation? The money needs to be in their pocket immediately. If not, nothing's going to happen. Like, for sure, people will still be roaming around trying to get a spoon of rice just to earn a living for themselves and their families, Dalton.
Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, real quickly, got to wrap up this segment. You know, I got an email from my U.S. government embassy saying that I should arrange for, quote, an immediate return to America unless I plan to stay for an extended period, which I plan to do because I reside here. I guess they're meaning short-term visitors. Now, this is a sign to me that observers outside of this country think that the worst is yet to come here. Hopefully not as severe as the worst critics believe, but I think that says something. Okay, got to move on. Hot Indo will continue shortly. Hard numbers, what the economic loss will mean for businesses from top to bottom. are watching Hot Indonesia with Sandrina, Sandy, and me via socially distant video conference. Here's hot topic number 2, hard numbers. It's plain to see and easy to comprehend. Government guidelines and public response to the threat of COVID-19 means empty streets, restaurants, and cash registers. It's estimated that Indonesia's 2020 economic growth projection of 5% will fall by at least 0.5%, and that means a whole lot of jobs. Businesses from top to bottom are trying to survive this unprecedented global pandemic. Now, several five-star hotels in Jakarta have already closed, including the Grand Melia, Ritz-Carlton, properties in Bali planning to do the same. Airport revenue down at least 20%. But let's start on a more personal level. Sandrina, you have a cool restaurant, coffee shop in Bintaro. You're having to make a big decision.
It's actually in BSD, Bumi Serpong Damai, next to Bintaro, 15 minutes away. Yes, we have been hit hard, really hard, and we had no other options but to close the outlet because, of course, we want to give a good example by abiding the rules, closing the possibility of people coming and sitting there and gathering. And aside from that, also the fact that the sales have plummeted to almost zero, even though we tried to shift to delivery, it's still not helping. Maybe because now people are starting to think that if they buy something from outside, they have to sanitize everything before they can get to the food. So for the time being, yes, we have no sales. We have closed down, and I don't know. What I'm seeing in 2 or 3 months, I might have to close down permanently unless there is a miracle. But we're trying to keep the fire on the stoves on to help the medical workers by gathering donations and supplying our doctors, our nurses, people at the hospitals who work so hard, risking their lives and providing them with really good and healthy food.
Yeah, I see on your Instagram account that you're providing meals, and that's really commendable. Now, on the corporate level, Sandy, one good example of humanity, the Fairmont Hotel in Jakarta is trying its best to keep all staff, pay salaries in full, and just stay open so nobody loses jobs. But Sandy, not everyone has those options.
Right, and my hearts and prayers really are with people out there, in particular SMEs, 64 millions of SMEs who are now have to basically survive. And this is different than 97, 98. 97, 98, we're seeing demand is still somewhat there. But today, because we have an unprecedented COVID-19 situations, demand just collapsed. I'm on a daily conversations with the SMEs and the big corporates also. They're struggling. The package that was just being introduced will give direct cash transfer to around 10 million families. And this is going to also extend to the unemployment benefits or pre-employment, as we call it here. This is going to somewhat ease the pressure, but I believe it's not enough because we need to look at somewhere between 6 to 8% of our GDP. The current package is about 4%. What President Jokowi is also extending is incentive for the fiscal, tax incentives, which are going to provide breathing room also for big corporates, and this will allow them not to do terminations to their employments. Massive terminations of employments could be avoided if we are giving a longer breathing room for them. So it's unprecedented. I've never seen something like this. We just, again, I guess, just like Hot Indonesia, we're in 3 different places and trying to figure out on a day-to-day what's going to happen next. This is something that the business community
allow me to add to that just a bit, because what I've experienced as a business owner is that we can't wait because we've been hit like for the last month. Sales have been decreasing, and the impact is now, it's being experienced now. So that's why a lot of companies, my friend who owns 11 outlets from one franchise, a restaurant, had to close down all 11 outlets. I only have one, and I had to close down, and I had to lay off like 2/3 of my staff. Breaks my heart. I tried to give them the support that we're able to a certain extent, but that's it, because we have no support yet from the government. We business owners need help, and we need it now.
Yeah, Sandy, from what you've heard, real quickly, what's the timeline? How soon will money get into the hands of the people?
Basically, the announcement was early this week. However, a lot of questions in terms of the implementations and how quickly these policies will be executed. I've been given a timeline between 2 weeks to a month, but I think we need to move faster than that, because I am worried if throughout the Ramadan seasons, the Ramadan months is just around the corner, if people don't have the certainties that their basic necessities will be provided, I guess this will allow move into other kind of issues, which is a social disturbance.
Sure.
So
let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing, all of us, for the
I'm
for the
advocating
disbursement of funds.
for the government to move this as quickly as possible. Within 2 weeks from today, the money should be in the pocket of people with the lower economic brackets.
Sure. Okay. There's a balance between the health crisis and keeping the economy running, but that balance is what the government has to decide. Okay. More Hot Indo is ahead with a kind of a lighter subject: taco trend. What are Indonesians' favorite takeaway meals? You're watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Here's hot topic number 3, taco trend. The U.S. fast food chain Taco Bell is scheduled to open in Indonesia this month, but that may, of course, be pushed back. Plans are to open 5 stores in Jakarta serving up the Tex-Mex menu. Operators believe the growing middle-class market is ready for burrito supremes and taco salads. Now, I myself can't wait. Looking forward to quick, cheap Mexican food, or sort of Mexican food. Will Indonesians like it, guys?
I think they would, but usually after some times, franchise from abroad do some fusion. They try to see what the people here like, and then they try to blend in some local touch into their menus. But I do believe that the young people here in Indonesia, they're really into fast food, and it would do well.
First of all, this is the happiest news for Noor, my wife. He is such a big fan of Taco Bell. He cannot wait for Taco Bell to open. But I would not be surprised if Taco Bell will have fried chicken in their menu, because Indonesia is crazy about fried chicken. And I think the enchiladas, the taco supreme, the burritos will be there also, and I think it'll be a big hit. You know how we love Tex-Mex food. Amigos is there. But what I really think, what a timing. What a timing. This is a very difficult time for any business to open up, but maybe this is the type of timing that you think only happen once every 100 years. Taco Bell, I want to touch on the entrepreneurship of how this brand started. Basically, Mr. Glenn Bell in 1950s sold his sister's refrigerators to raise money and start the hamburgers joint. Not taco, but hamburgers joint. Didn't do very well, pivot to start selling taco, and tacos originally cost 19 cents. 19 cents. What happened is they sold the joint to Pepsi Cola in the 70s for $130 million. So from refrigerators to $130 million. Today, Taco Bell's worth $2 billion and are in 26 countries with 7,000 restaurants. What I'm trying to say here, I wish luck for Taco Bell. Hopefully more and more transportations online will deliver those tacos to homes, plus some fried chickens. and some will make the trip to my home here for my wife.
Sandy, I didn't know that. You're saying that the original founder of this was named Bell, and that's the name Taco Bell?
That's correct. The name is Glenn Bell. So I remember this because this is somewhere that we learned when I was in Wichita, Kansas, studying entrepreneurship.
Sandrina, real quick, is there one item that we have, I know we mentioned this before, I think, one item that we have that we could sell in America, for example, at a like, I don't know, bakwan bell or so? I mean, what one item you think would sell real quickly?
Indonesian food that could be sold easily abroad. Oh, we have a lot, like rendang has been declared as the world's most delicious type of food in the world.
Okay, so rendang maybe could be packaged in a nice bowl with rice.
Yes,
and
but less
it could be
spicy though. And I wouldn't be surprised that in time Taco Bell here would start selling rice. Who
Yeah,
knows? Because
okay.
like McDonald's and KFC, they sell rice too. So
Or-
that's
or
a must in Indonesia.
Rendang taco, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Guys, it is feedback time now, and we want to hear from who's watching us, our viewers, wherever you are. Anggun in Jakarta tweeted this. The government needs to put serious attention on how to manage the impact of this pandemic to businesses. Yep, you heard some of our thoughts earlier, Anggun. We'll keep pushing. And this video question was sent in by Mary in Jakarta.
We may overcome this virus, but how do we overcome with the crisis that is caused by the virus itself?
Good question, Mary. We all must figure that one out once the health emergency is over and even before that. Now, here's how to contact us with your feedback. Email at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment through our Hot Indonesia or Indonesia Channel Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Final words, Sandrina.
My heart pours out to those of you who are being really tested and hit by this difficult situation, those who have lost your jobs. I can only say I understand a lot of people have no options but to lay off their workers. So for those of you who still have a lot, who can still choose what you eat today, try and do anything you can to help those who are around you. Let's do this and deal with this together as a united nation.
Okay, final words, Sandy.
My heart and prayers goes to the doctors, the medical staffs who are 24/7 at the front line. We are praying for you to stay healthy, stay safe, and we are doing every bit we can to support you with the protective gear. So hang in there, guys, and hopefully we're going to go through this together.
Okay, and my final words. The Indonesia Channel would like to do its part in these tough times. Management will give your business 30 seconds of free airtime to run your message. Say you're open, give a message, whatever you'd like to do. We'll run your ad 3 times a day, every day until the end of April. Send it to the address at the bottom of your screen here, because the day will come when life and business will resume in full, and you'll want to stay in touch with those you serve. And that is Hot Indonesia for this week. For my colleagues in their homes, Sandrina Malakiano and Sandiaga Uno, I'm Dalton Tanonaka. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.